Namaste students, I hope you all are fine. This is Charanjit Kaur from the Department of Biology and I am going to teach you the chapter Our Environment. Yes, what is environment? Environment means the physical surroundings like the air, water, soil, etc. and all the living organisms like plants, animals, even the microorganisms that are present. So this includes the environment. Now, ecosystem. What do you mean by the ecosystem? Ecosystem means that when the living organisms they interact with the non-living components. So that's why there are two components of the ecosystem. One that is the biotic component and the second that is the abiotic components. What are biotic components? Like the plants, animals and microorganisms and decomposers. Decomposers like bacteria and fungi, they act as the decomposers. Now next are abiotic components, means the non-living components like the soil, air and water. So they will come under the abiotic components. Now next is the types of ecosystems. So there are two types of the ecosystems depending upon the land-based or the water-based, like terrestrial ecosystem and aquatic ecosystem. From the name it is clear, terrestrial ecosystem means that the land-based ecosystem and the aquatic ecosystem means the water-based ecosystem. So natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. These are the types of the terrestrial ecosystem as well as the aquatic ecosystem. See, the one ecosystem, it includes the living organisms as well as the physical surroundings that are present which are non-living. So, if suppose we will take one example like of the forests. So, in case of the forest, can you tell me that what are the living components and what are the non-living components? Yes, the living components that are the plants and the animals in case of the forests. And what are the non-living components? Yes, the soil, the air, the water, they will come under the abiotic components. Let's take another example like the pond. In case of pond, the living organisms like the fish, they will come under the biotic component. And what are the non-living? The water and the soil that is present at the bottom region. So they will come under the abiotic components. So what are these natural ecosystems and the artificial ecosystem? Natural ecosystem means the ecosystem which is present naturally, means there is not any interference of the man-made, and artificial means that is the man-made. So terrestrial ecosystem which is natural, like the natural vegetation, so that will come under the natural ecosystem which is naturally present. And artificial ecosystem in case of the terrestrial ecosystem, can you give an example? Yes, like gardens, parks, so they will come under the terrestrial artificial ecosystem. In case of gardens, what are the components that will come under the biotic? Yes, the plants, they will come under the biotic, and the living organisms, the microorganisms that are present in the soil, they will also come under the biotic components. And the abiotic components that are like air, water and the soil. Now next is in case of the aquatic ecosystem, the natural ecosystem like the ponds, lakes, the rivers, so they are the natural ecosystem. And can you give me the example of the artificial ecosystem? Think about this. Yes, this is aquarium. Aquarium, it is man-made. So it consists of the small aquatic living organisms and the non-biotic components that are surrounding the biotic components. So there is an interaction between the biotic and the abiotic components and it forms the ecosystem. So next students, we will discuss about the biotic components in detail. So as I told you that biotic components, it includes the living organisms. So producers, consumers and decomposers, they will come under the biotic components. So what are producers? producers like the plants, the blue-green algae. So they will come under the producers. Why? Because by the process of the photosynthesis, they can prepare their own food. And next is consumers. What are consumers? Consumers means which depend upon the producers for their food, which depend upon the producers for their food. So the consumers that are of three types. The first that are the herbivores, the second that is carnivores, and the third that is omnivores. What are herbivores? Herbivores which feed upon the plants, which feed upon the green plants. So they are known as the herbivores. So that's why they are also considered as the primary consumer. They are also considered as primary consumer. So there are some examples like cow, buffalo, goat, sheep, etc. Now next is carnivores. Carnivores, they will come under the two categories. The first, that is the small carnivores, and the large carnivores. The small carnivores which depend upon the herbivores for their food, and the large carnivores, they depend upon the small carnivores for their food. So that's why small carnivores, they will considered as the secondary consumer if we will consider any food chain. Then the large carnivores, they will considered as the tertiary consumers because they depend on the small carnivores for their food. For example, like grasshopper, rat, frog, seed-eating birds, etc. And in case of the large carnivores, what are the examples? Yes, like lion, tiger, birds, human. Human, they will come under the carnivores as well as the omnivores also. The next category is omnivores. Omnivores, they will come under the tertiary as well as the quaternary consumer, as they depend upon the producers as well as the carnivores for their food. They eat flesh as well as the plants. So that's why they are known as the omnivores. And how they are considered in both the category means they can be the tertiary consumer and they can be the quaternary consumer. It depends upon the food chain. If suppose in a food chain only the one carnivores it is given, then they will consider as the tertiary consumer, and if suppose there are two carnivores that are given, means the small as well as the large carnivores that are present, so they will come under the quaternary consumer. And the next are, there are some examples of the omnivores. Human being, dog, crow, sparrow, these are some examples of the omnivores category. Now here I have written one food chain. The plants, then the worms, they depend upon the plants for their food. Then the birds, they depend upon the worms, and cat, they depend upon the birds. So here the transfer of energy, it takes place from one organism to the next and so on. So in this category, if I will ask you about the consumer and the producer, so what will be your answer? Plants, they will come under the producer as they produce their food by the process of the photosynthesis. Next, that are worms. Worms, they depend upon the producers for their food, so that's why they will come under the herbivores category. Next, that are the birds. Birds, they are the small carnivores. They are small carnivores because they depend upon the worms. They depend upon the herbivores for their food. What are the small carnivores? Which depend upon the herbivores for their food. And cat, it will come under the large carnivores because it depends upon the birds, means the small carnivores for their food. So I think this food chain, it is clear to you. Any doubt in this? Next, we will discuss about the function of the ecosystem. What are the function of the ecosystem now? Ecosystem, it helps in maintaining the flow of the nutrients in between the biotic and the abiotic component. It supports the life of the organisms. Now, the third components of the biotic components, that are decomposers. What are decomposers? Decomposers, they feed on the dead remains of the plants and animals. They feed on dead remains. So that's why they act as cleansing agent. They act as cleansing agent. And even they are responsible for maintaining the cyclic flow of the nutrients. How? The soil, it contains the nutrients, and from the soil it will enter in the plants, and from the plants again it will come into the soil. How? From the plants it will come into the soil. When the dead remains of the plants that are decomposed by the bacteria and fungi, which are decomposers, then again the nutrients which are present in the plants, they will mix with the soil. So the nutrients which will enter in the plants from the soil, they will come into the soil again by the action of the decomposers. Now next, that are the abiotic factors. Abiotic factors, it includes the physical environment like the air, water or soil, as well as the physical factors like the light, temperature, etc.